To be honest with you, the first time I became aware of the song was when they did the movie Dawn of the Dead.
Yeah.
And the producers of the movie, they approached us and they're like, look, you know, there's this version of your song that we'd really like to use for this one specific part of the film. And I'm like, well, let me see what you have in mind. And they brought us in for a screening. And they played the part, and I heard the song, and I'm like, oh, this is brilliant. You know, I laughed my ass off. You know, how could you not? It was, he did it so well. I would love to actually see him perform it live. I'm a fan. You know, he does great lounge versions of songs. He's really good at it. That song in particular, "Down with the Sickness," has been in so many things and so many movies, and you know, it was also in Queen of the Damned. It was also it's one of those, you know, like every band has their one song that they can never avoid playing ever.
Yep.
You know, that's like that's our rock and roll all night. You know what I mean? That's like the song that we'll never be able to get away from, and that's fine. We're very, very blessed with it. It has transcended so many boundaries, and
it's a kick-ass song.
You know, thank you. So if it can add something in whomever's eyes to whatever particular project that it'll do justice to, I'm fine with it. Whether it's that song or any of our songs, I don't have an issue with our songs being used in multiple areas by any means. In fact, as far as I'm concerned, the more the merrier. You know, the more exposure you get, the more people are aware of what you do and can invest their personal aspects of themselves in you, and they can become fans. You know? And so I never have an issue with it. Still, we ravage the world and we love. We have had a camera crew with us taking footage since, as you saw, since the early days.
Yeah.
And it's always been something that we've always kept updated on our websites. We'd have little webisodes that they post, and tour diaries, and so on and so forth. It's just part of us maintaining the closeness and the connection with the fans. So we've always viewed that as being an important investment. But you look back at 10 years worth of footage, all of a sudden you have all this material. What can we do with all of it? So we figured, with the new record, since we had the idea of putting this together, originally they wanted to market it as an individually sold DVD, and we in the band thought, no, let's just give it to people. Let's give it to them as our gift for being Disturbed fans for 10 years. So. In asylum, I live a lie. Don't you know I'm in love with you and I wasn't ready for asylum. Well, the rest of the band is off doing what they do during the holidays, you know. Everybody's with their families. I'm here just visiting my family, and I'm here with I brought my girlfriend here for the first time, so she can see where I come from, you know, what my people are about, and show her a little bit of the culture, and have a good time, which is really always good for. I have relatives all over the place here. My brother lives here, and my grandmother lives here, cousins, aunts, uncles, a lot of family.
And you don't speak Hebrew?
I do.
You speak Hebrew?
I do.
Really? Because I know you understand
לא
me.
כל כך טוב, אבל...
Nice.
כן, אני מדבר עברית. אבא שלי ישראלי, הוא סתם. אני נולד בארצות הברית, אבל הוא נולד בישראל. It's wonderful to hear, but I don't have knowledge of it. I hope that is true.
It is.
And I hope that it translates to a successful show, God willing, when we are able to come. I'm pushing very hard to try and make it happen this cycle.
All right.
I really would like to try and make it out here sometime this year.
All right.
The reaction's been very intense. People have been very, very happy with it, very supportive of it. We had our fastest climbing #1 single in Another Way to Die back in the States off of it. It went to #1 in 4 weeks' time. We've never had that happen before. we're currently with our second single, The Animal. It's currently number 2. It's only a couple steps away from number 1, so we're about to have our second number 1 single off of it. The response to it is huge. It debuted. It was our 4th record in a row to debut number 1 on the Billboard Top 200. So I can't complain about the reaction on any level. It seemed to have been received fairly well by the press, which was shocking to me. I'm not used to that.
Why? The reviews weren't so bad up until now.
Maybe not in Israel, but they're not always so kind to us. I've kind of gotten used to it.
Well,
yeah, it's because you weren't maybe reading some of the UK mags or the other European magazines, or even some of the US mags. Some journalists make a living out of destroying people. That's how they get their notoriety. That's how they rise up. That's unfortunate.
yeah.
It's really always been the same. The amount of time that it takes to write the material isn't always the same, but the process is always the same. It always starts with riff ideas that Danny has, our guitar player. He brings them to Mikey. They form it into a 2 or 3 part musical progression. When they have about somewhere between 3 to 5 song ideas with just the music, they send it to me, and I start improvising with melodies and rhythms for the vocal. Sort of a scat fashion, like a jazz musician does. It's gibberish, like skilly-dabba-doo-dabba. Nonsense, no real words. And I record that, send it back to them, and then we collaborate. We identify verse, chorus, work on the transitions, and the very last thing done are the lyrics, which is very difficult because it's trying to fit in puzzle pieces at that point. But from a production standpoint, we've always gone into the studio with the songs already, I would say, 95% complete. In fact, usually the last remaining things that have to be completed are lyrics, and I'm usually about 4 to 5 songs that I still have to finish while we're in the studio, lyrically, because like I said, that's the most difficult part. But we're always ready. We go in, there is no pre-production period. We know what we're doing the minute we step foot in the studio. We've done our homework. We're very efficient about it. And even when we had Johnny K producing, who was an amazing teacher for us and really showed us how to execute the way to produce records right.